Good, Joffrey. Our question 5 is about how to reduce fear of children's fear about teachers. The parent's question is, my child is in preschool. She is so nervous when the teachers are around that she isn't able to speak. In the past 3 years, she only answered questions from the teachers only a handful of times. She does not talk in extracurricular classes, but sometimes she acts silly. Currently, she talks to classmates when they are outside of school. She is going to an elementary school this fall. First question, what can we do to reduce her fear of teachers? And second, we are moving soon, and my child will start elementary school in the fall. What can we do to prepare her for the new environment?
So thank you so much for your question. And again, this is another case where I'm really sorry that your child isn't receiving intervention, so soon, that it took a long time to take the intervention. And it is our responsibility to educate the teachers and everybody to doing this. And that's why this organization is so good, that I hope a lot of teachers in China and other places will listen to this. So I usually, I think that, that your child has had some movement, but not a lot of movement over the last, so many years, and your child is so young. So one thing that if I assume that now is the end of the school year, but she currently talks to classmates when they are outside of school. And if you were to stay, but you were saying that you're going to move, but if you were to stay in this program, but if you're going to stay during the summer, every day counts to develop interventions, even if you're not going to stay there. I think that if you're going to stay there during this part of the summer, the end of the school year, I would make a lot of play dates with the kids that she talks to outside of school, and then I would get closer and closer to the school. For instance, if you have a playground in the preschool, and you can stay a little longer and ask a parent to stay a little longer in the playground, you're going to be outside, not inside a classroom, but they can play and you can talk to this other parent. And it's just the fact that it's closer to the place where it's school, it would help. And then progressively, you would get closer. This, again, is if you are going to stay there. But since you told me that you are moving, and you're moving where your child will start elementary school, I'm going to say the same thing I said to another question that was asked. I would usually recommend parents to move during the summer, not in the very last period of the summer. Move, if you're going to move to elementary school that is close to your house, try to enroll your child in summer camps or in activity where kids who are likely to be going to that school will be going to. And I'll have a meeting with the ESC staff, the special education staff of the new school. If you know exactly where you're moving to, and that's why I'm so busy this time of the year too, having meetings where we introduce the child to the new school. We want to make sure that the week before school starts, that the child can start going to school and meet the teacher. And even now, if you know who the teacher is going to be, to meet that teacher. That is so important. And that is a lot of work, because some of the parents of children with selective mutism also have anxiety of meeting other parents. So you're going to be going to a new place, and you may have anxiety about meeting other parents as well. And it's work. Some parents tell me, it's so hard for me. But the more you do, the less difficult it will be for your child to find an environment. In addition to that, you will be giving modeling for your child. And the more I tell parents, the more you do this outside of my office, the less you will see of me, and the more successful and effective your intervention will be. The only thing is to know how to go about doing this. And that's something that we give training. We train the parents on how to use the skills to talk to their kids in the presence of other children when they first meet them, which is our, like the PCIT skills for selective mutism. But it's just increasing all the possibilities of exposure for your child in the new place. So basically, that's the fear of teachers now. It's gone. There's the school year is gone. So let's create preventive measures for next year. And the book that you mentioned that I wrote is actually, it was written from the point of view of the child introducing herself to a new teacher. And it's a way to introduce the topic of selective mutism to that new teacher. And that's exactly the age of Sophie is 5, is when she's going to kindergarten. So I wrote for a reason, because that's when they usually change schools or something like that. So use that not for her to read to other people, but for you to take to the teacher to introduce. It's an educational tool for parents to read and learn from, but also to take to teachers. It doesn't have all the strategies that I'm talking about here, but we can do that in another opportunity. Okay.
Well, what wonderful suggestion. I think your Sophie book is a very good education tool. Just buy several copies and bring to teachers, new teachers every semester, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me read the Chinese.
Not just the teachers, but also also ballet teachers, sports, extended family, anybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't answer one of the questions, which is really important. Can I say it now?
Yes, please.
This parent asked about acting silly.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I cannot say what that could be, because I don't see the child. I didn't observe the child at school. One of the first things that I do after I meet the parents is I observe the child at school before the child knows who I am, so that I can see these nonverbal behaviors before they know who I am, which I recommend to all psychologists to do that. But the acting silly, a lot of times children with SM actually do not have social anxiety, which will lead into our next question, but they don't have, and they're trying to communicate. And the fact that your child is doing that shows me that the child really wants to communicate, and it's attempting, it's not frozen, like some of the children they become very frozen. So your child is actually communicating. The only thing that I will tell you is that if you think your child is acting silly, that's one of the things that we know. If we don't help children with SM express themselves verbally and communicate and develop this communication and give and take with other children early on, then we're not going to be helping them be exposed to the social situations and learn from them. So they may not grow socially as other children are growing socially. So that is why they know how to do it, but they're not experiencing in real interaction. So only with their family or people they feel comfortable with. That's why it's so important to help them be able to communicate. And the silliness could be a lot of different things, but it could be also because they don't know how to go about doing it, and it's difficult for them to express, but they want to let others know that they want to participate.
Okay, thank you so much. It takes an expert with lots of experience to understand what the kids are thinking and what the silliness is meaning. Thank you so much for your advice.
Thank you.